right. Second picture. Stuff around. All right, let's get started. First, welcome everybody to all our returning players. Welcome back. All of our new players, welcome aboard. This is a really fun program. I think you'll have a great time. All of our returning players probably very much agree with that, and hopefully give a big kudos since they're all back. I believe this is our 8th year running the program, so we've been doing this for a while, been having a ton of fun, and excited to have everybody joining us this year. We do have full rosters across the board. We got 119 players this year, so it's little hectic at the very end, but registrations came fast and furious all in the last couple of days. So we managed to fill up every roster, which was awesome. All right, so going through, what are some of the goals of this league? So this league is designed for people, all ages, genders, and skill sets to go out and have fun playing together. This league is not designed for high-end competition. This is designed for you to go out and have fun playing recreational softball with your friends and family. So we specifically have rules in place to minimize strong players' impacts on the game. We put home run limits, we have dead balls, we have low impact bats. All these things make it sound like it wouldn't be as much fun, but it actually puts a whole new twist on the game. So if you haven't read the rules, please go read the rules, but we will go through some of them tonight. So some of the other goals, we want everyone to be able to come out and hit the ball and have fun playing. Things that are important, win-loss records do not matter. So it doesn't matter if you win all 8 regular season games. That doesn't mean you're the #1 seed in the tournament. It doesn't matter if you lose all 8 games. So the reason we do this is so that everybody can have fun. And it also allows us to be able to do things like use substitutes from other teams. If we had records matter, we wouldn't be able to take subs from other teams. And honestly, that's a lot of the fun of everything, seeing people, go out there and see 8 different colored jerseys on one team some weeks, and it's can be a great thing. Last goal of the league, it raises some money for our youth programs. Everything that you guys pay, your registration fees, your snack purchases, all that money goes back into our youth program. Our youth program is the lowest cost recreational activity for baseball, softball in the entire Massachusetts, Central Mass area. I think 20 towns that all surround us, we are by far the cheapest, short of Air, who's funded by their town. But every other town, we are significantly cheaper than all of them, and it's because of stuff like running this program and running our snack shack. So when you come out to the field, come get a hot dog, come get a burger. They'll always be ready. They'll always be available for you. And it helps keep our costs low for the kids. And that's one of the big goals. All right. What am I looking for from you guys right now? I need some team names and some captains. So I've already heard from some teams. So every team gets a color. I gave everybody a color, and that's what you get on. You guys as a team, you need to decide what you actually want to be known as. So come up with something fun, come up with something funny. It needs to be appropriate, but it can be suggestively inappropriate. So if those who've been around know some of the team names that we've had out there. And when I say suggestively inappropriate, remember this, kids are on the sidelines and they cheer these team names. So if you don't want to hear your 6-7-year-old kid cheering the name you picked, don't pick that name. So I don't tend to like vetoing names, but I have had to do it. Usually once a year, I'll veto a name, and it's because I just don't want to see those little kids saying that. So do your best. Each team needs to select a player captain. This is the person who coordinates the roster lineups and looks for substitute players. The player captain will have special permission on the site to be able to schedule practices and book fields. Oh, also, if you have questions at any point during this process, stop me, ask me questions. I have No problem having this interactive. Much things go much better when we do it that way anyway.
Love it, Uncle Greg.
What is that?
Okay.
He wants to put the trophy in his video on the league call.
You got a trophy to show us?
Oh, sorry. I was off mute.
All right. Attendance. So you need to be able to tell your captains as soon as possible if you're not going to attend a game so that they can find a substitute player for you. You have to use the Crossbar app or the website to say if you're going to be in attendance. If you just don't do that and the captain goes ahead and finds someone because they think that you're not going to be there because you were too lazy to hit the button, if you show up and there's a substitute player there that was going to be there to cover for you not showing up, you don't get this play that week. So take the 3 seconds, hit the yes, I'm going link that comes in email and it shows up on the app to make sure your captain knows that you're going to be there. If you say that you're going to be there, be there. Save your captains the headache. So that's, things happen. We get it. Happens all the time, but do your best. Keep your captains sane. You do have to play 4 weeks worth of games in order to be eligible to participate in the end of season tournament. Substituting for another team does count towards this requirement. This is a slight change from what we've done in the past. It used to be 4 games. Now it's 4 weeks. The reason we switched this, it's still basically the same requirement, but we basically had a couple of people that played 4 games in one day, subbing for 3 teams, and then didn't show up for 4 weeks. So, and then they went, hey, I played my 4 games, I'm eligible. Not really the point. So you have to be there for 4 weeks of the season. Not a hard requirement. Hopefully you can make at least 4 of the 9 or 10 games that you signed up for. It's all we ask. So, all right. If you don't show up for 4 weeks in a row, we're going to consider you withdrawn, which means you're no longer on the team if you just don't show up. If you haven't received your uniform yet, you forfeited at that point. So let people know, keep us in the loop. All we ask is for common courtesy. It goes a long way. All right, let's talk about substitute players. If a team needs a substitute player, the captains will use this order of selection. They will look for players on the official substitute player list. This is posted on our website. The page that has all the substitutes is now locked to just people in the league. So we had the mistake last year where that page was opened up to the public. We fixed that. So yes, if you go out there logged in, you will see your name, your phone number, and email address available to other people in the league. This is just because you're listed as a sub. Nobody other than the people in the league will be able to find that information. So the order of selection, someone on the official substitute list, if they're not on the substitute list, someone who's on another team. Third option is a non-rostered adult who's at least 23 years old, not 18. You can roster at 18, but we say 23 for substitutes because having an 18-year-old who doesn't understand the rules that just came off the varsity baseball team at North Middlesex and is coming out and playing like it's the All-Star tournament hurts people. So 23 years old, if you're coming in cold, you got to have a few years more on you before you can come in and just substitute. I can make rare exceptions if needed. If we're scrambling for players, I will let a younger player tend to play if you've exhausted all of your options. So we've had 15-year-olds sub in sometimes. We'll definitely do that. If the goal is to have fun, let people play. We don't really want to bring in younger players, but we'll do it in the spirit of trying to get the games in and everybody having a good time. So, but if you cannot do that unless you clear it with me first. We do have to have them sign waivers and all that other fun stuff. All right, for substitutes, your primary responsibility is to your own team. You should not be substituting for another team and then skipping your own game. So exceptions can be allowed, but they need to be approved in advance. So if you're going, well, I can't make my game today, but I can go substitute for someone else, let me know. And the first time, yeah, we'll let it happen. If you start doing it every week so that because you really wanted to be on a different team, we're going to put a stop to it. Kind of how that's going to work. um, so if it's a non-rostered person, someone who isn't in our league that's doing a sub, they have to sign a waiver at the field and must confirm that they've read and understand our rules. So if you're going to bring in somebody from the outside, please, 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 please make sure they read the rules. Our rules are unique. So they are not baseball rules. They are not softball rules. They're not your standard adult softball rules. We are very unique here. Make sure they read the rules. If you're using subs, you can't have more than 10 players on your team. Uh, and if a roster player arrives late and you pull the sub from the field, they should take the spot of the person who's subbing at the end of the next half inning. So don't change it in the middle of the inning. Wait till the inning ends or the half inning ends and then swap them out. All right. Equipment. This is important. So the league provides all the bats and balls for use in our games. This is for the practice before the games. This is during the games. Do not bring your own balls to the field. Please just leave them at home. Why? Because these balls always end up getting mixed in to our bucket of balls that we have at the field. If you take a fast pitch softball and put it in our league and someone hits it, it's going to get moonshot all the way to 119. These we have balls that are considered dead balls, and our bats and our balls are designed to keep the balls in our 200-foot field. They're designed to stay in play and have fun and be able to make plays in the ball. These other balls will get crushed. And if you crush one of those balls and it doesn't go out and it goes head first at somebody, someone could get really, really hurt. So you want to be careful on that. So just leave your balls at home, leave your bats at home. You can't use them here anyway. And just bring a glove. That's all you need here to play. All right. General rule, no dogs, no smoking at the field. So no dogs at any of our facilities, no emotional support animals of any kind. The only dogs that are exceptions are certified trained guide dogs that are doing an ADA act, which is a dog that is performing an act on behalf of a disabled person, are the only exception. So you need to have a license, you need to have them trained. If they don't bring them to the field. So there's no smoking or vaping anywhere on the grounds of our facilities. This includes in the parking lot, in the woods. If you're going to smoke, you're going to vape, head all the way to the main road and do it out there. Don't do it in the parking lot. If you do, if we catch you, we're going to stop the game until the action is stopped. If you brought a dog, we're going to stop the game until the dog leaves. If you start smoking, we're going to stop the game until you leave or extinguish it. So if you're going to be bringing spectators and visitors, make sure they know the rules before they come. We had a couple people show up last year that goes, I drove an hour and a half to see my cousin and I got my dog. Not my problem. Don't bring your dog. So let people know. We do have a single exception, and that is Townsend Canine Police Officer Ruby. So this is Townsend's police officer dog. It's a bloodhound. Ruby's core mission is community engagement, and we welcome Ruby at our fields. So if you will likely see her at the fields. Her handler is on the orange team, so you will likely see Officer Ruby showing up at the fields. So wonderful dog, and we're excited that that option is there. All right. Do we do practices? The league itself doesn't schedule practices, but we do encourage you to have your own and schedule them. Player captains have permissions on the site to go book practices. You can use any of our fields, Craven or any of the Spalding fields. You must book the field to have practice. Don't just show up at a field. The reason we say that is because teams do book their fields. And if you just show up and a team who booked it can get kind of wonky when two teams show up at the same time. One booked it, one didn't. So make sure you book it, and then you won't have a problem. We have 5 youth teams also playing this fall who are also going to be doing practices. They will definitely be booking the field. So we don't want We don't want you using the field if they booked it. We don't want to run into that situation. We do ask that, when you're done with the field, clean it up, grab the rakes, grab the drag, take care of the field, leave it in better condition than when you arrived. Don't use any of the game saver or quick dry for practices. Either use a dry area of the field or reschedule for another time. Batting cage. We have over at Craven Field, we do have a batting cage. It is available for anybody to use. You don't have to book it. You can use it most anytime. The only thing that we ask is if there's a game of practice going on, don't go in there and start hitting balls. If there's a game going on, definitely don't go in there and start hitting balls because it actually distracts the batter and the players in the field. So try to avoid that. We do not have a pitching machine in the batting cage at this time. However, there is power, so you can bring your own if you like. And we do ask, if you are going to use the batting cage, make sure you shut the gate when you are finished. If you don't, it becomes a litter box for all the wonderful wildlife that lives all around Craven Field. So I went in there this morning and the geese made a heck of a mess of their new litter box because the gate was left open. So please make sure you shut the gate. That way I don't have to go in and clean the poop up all over the place. All right. Snack Shack. So everybody, when you signed up, you agreed to work two shifts in the Snack Shack. For the most part, I think everyone really only had to have one. Some people had two. There was a buyout that if you selected, you don't need to pick slots. Things to keep in mind: if you do not show up for your shift, you will be charged $75. If you show up 15 minutes late for your shift, you'll be charged $25. The reason we do this is because you put me and anybody else volunteering in a very difficult position when there's nobody there to actually run the stuff that we need that you signed up for. So please don't put us in the situation to have to charge you. I think last year I charged one person throughout the whole season. So try to, not put anybody in that thing. If you cannot make a shift, it is your responsibility to find a replacement. Don't call me and say, I can't work my shift. I don't care. You need to go find someone, call players on your team, call other friends. It doesn't even have to be somebody in the league. Go find any adult that can cover your shift. That's all we ask. Okay. Just as long as somebody shows up in your slot, doesn't matter to me as long as the work is covered. Okay. And this is a link to the policy that you agreed to when you signed up. All right, game cancellations. We play, how do I put it this way? We're going to play our games. We're going to play in the rain. We're going to play in the heat. We're going to play in the cold. It takes a real lot for me to cancel games. The only way that I will cancel a game is if that field is in such bad shape that people are going to get severely hurt. A little hurt is okay. Severely hurt is not. Okay. So if you will, and I will never cancel anything more than 2 hours in advance. So if you got a 4 o'clock game and it's been raining all day and you haven't heard anything, I will not cancel it before 2 o'clock. Okay. Because this is New England. The weather changes like that here. So even though it's 100% chance of rain at 8 a.m., by noon, it could be snowing. It could be 100 degrees. Who knows? I've seen everything under the sun. So I never cancel anything more than 2 hours in advance. So if I do have to cancel games or one or multiple games, I will send out an email. I will cancel it on the website. You should get notified on Crossbar, and you should get an email in your mailbox. Post-game cleanup. This is for everybody. So when the game is done, the field has to be cleaned. We go from game to game to game to game, right back to back to back. So this is for everybody. Do not have your game end and then book it out of the parking lot and burn out of the park thing. You got to help clean. So that means dragging, raking, go to the grass lines. You rake the base paths up and down, not side to side. So as you see here in the picture, This is how we rake. We don't go this way because it pushes the dirt up on the grass. Um, Never push dirt on the grass. Make sure the dugouts are clean after your game. Empty the trash barrels from the dugouts into the dumpster. Empty the trash barrels from the snack shack into the dumpster. Clean up the trash around the bleachers. They're your spectators that were just there. Chances are they made a mess. Either they clean it or you clean it. So take care of the people that you have coming there. If you brought little kids, they tend to love to get the lollipops, and the lollipop wrappers go all over the place. So clean up after your kids, please. Because if not, I got to clean it up at 8 o'clock at night in the dark. I don't want to do that. So if there's a game immediately after yours, which is the 12, 1:30, and 3 o'clock games, try to avoid raking out the chalk lines. So we want to try to not have to re-chalk every single game. So try to rake around it if you can, but just leave the line if you can. If it's too bad, if it's in bad shape, wipe it, we'll re-chalk it. But for the most part, going through 4 games a day, it goes through a lot of chalk. So we try to avoid getting rid of the line if we can. All right, word on umpires. During the regular season, there are no official umpires. So that means how do we do that? For the person who's doing the first base coach will make all the calls at home and first base. The person who's the third base coach will make all the calls at second and third base. The catcher makes all fair foul calls. Please stress to anybody you have catching, because a lot of teams tend to put weaker players as catchers. They need to be able to understand what is fair and foul. They need to be able to say it loud and quick, and only the catcher makes the fair foul call. They're the only one that has the right view on it. Make sure they know what fair and foul is. Okay. Every year we get somebody that gets put back there and they go, I don't know what to do. So talk to your catchers before you put them back there. Make sure they understand what it is. If the offensive team doesn't put out a base coach, then the baseman covering the bag will make the call. You are not going to be happy with the call they make. So make sure you get your base coaches out there. More often than not, base coaches are out there, but I've seen it where they forgot and that person should have been safe, or should have been out, but they get called safe. So you might want to make sure of that. For the end of season tournament, that's different. So we have umpire Mike LeClaire. He is our league's umpire in chief. He will be the official umpire for the entire tournament. He will do every game for both days. Things to keep in mind, right or wrong, his word is final. There's no protests, no exceptions. Whatever he says is good. If he makes a mistake, the call is still going to be as he called it. He will then talk to me somewhere on the sideline. I'll make sure he understands the rules so that the next time he sees that situation, the call will be correct. But the time on the field, he is the only one that will make that call. I will not override him at any point during a game, during an actual play. Okay. Pitching. Pitching distance is 46 feet. That is the rubber closest to the home plate. Pitchers must start from the rubber. Pitchers are not permitted to step forward and pitch closer than the 46 feet. Why? Because in this league, you will get killed if you're closer than 46 feet. The balls come fast back at the pitcher, so make sure you start at 46 feet. So for adult softball, it is a standard slow pitch arc. That means the pitch should have an arc between 6 and 12 feet. What does that actually mean? That means when the ball, if you look down here in this really weird old picture I found, when the ball gets released, it has to hit somewhere in here for it to actually be a legal pitch. That means if that ball's coming in and you don't see it go over your head, that wasn't real. So as a pitcher, watch what you're doing. So keep that in mind. Do we throw pitches out that aren't legal? No. So can you pitch straight? Yes. Not what we're trying to do here. So, um, so which is the next point here. Pitching should not be used as a method to win a game. A lot of adult leagues, pitching is absolutely used as a method to win games. Here it is not. The only thing pitching is used for here is to get it over the plate so someone can hit it so the fielders can make plays on it. We want the balls to be hit. We want them to go into the field. We want people to make plays on them. So doing stuff like putting spin, backspin, throwing knuckleballs, all of that stuff is a no-no. Don't do any of those things. So all you want to do is just get it over the plate, nice easy pitch, so someone can hit it, and then we can go have fun fielding it and trying to throw them out, or watching them go for a single, a double, a triple, or more. So, if a request, if your pitcher cannot get the ball consistently over the plate, please pull them. Games with good pitching are usually done in about an hour. Games that don't have good pitching, 2+ hours easily. It happens. So pitching is the single biggest determination for how long a game is. So try to make sure if your pitcher just can't get it over the plate, they're having a bad day, get them out of there. Try someone else. Do your best. Okay. All right. So this is our very unique field. And I wanted to walk through what some of this stuff means because this is not normal. And I'm going to explain why this is like this. All right. I'm going to start with the simple ones first. Pitching rubber. Our field has 2 pitching rubbers. This is a youth field that is both for minors and majors baseball. So it has 2 different settings. We're going to use the front one. Okay, this is the 46-foot one. The second thing that's easy, catcher's line. There is a chalk line that's going to be behind home plate. You need to stay, catchers need to stay behind the line. If you don't stay behind the line, you're going to take a ball to the face. Make sure you stay behind the line. It's enough of a distance so you don't get hurt. That's why we do that. Every single thing that you see on here is for safety. Okay. And they're all rules that came as a result of something that happened. Okay. Every year we send somebody out in an ambulance. Every year we add a new safety rule to avoid someone going out in an ambulance. So this year we didn't change any playing rules. So fingers crossed. Up here, runner's bag. So on first base, there's going to be a double safety bag. So when you are running, you're going to run to the right bag. It's an orange color.
Ran into the ground.
You're going to run to this bag. Once you step on it and pass it, that bag is basically gone. It does pretend it doesn't exist. Then you start playing to the white. Then you go back to the white bag. Okay. As a fielder, you only use the white bag. You never go anywhere near the orange. You never put your foot here. You never put your foot anywhere past that chalk line. Okay. This is how collisions happen, how we get people get hurt. This is one of the biggest reasons, this area here, where we've seen people get sent out in ambulances. Okay. So runners to the safety bag, fielders to the white bag. Back at home plate, this black pad here, it's the arc landing pad. As far as rules go, this pad means nothing. Okay, we are not using that. There's a rule that a lot of leagues use where if it hits the ball hits that, it's considered a strike. We're not going to add that rule, but what we are going to do is put it there because it makes a pretty good target for a pitcher that when they figure out where is my ball going to land. So their goal is to try to get the ball to land there. All right. So that's just a guide for the pitchers. All right. Before I get to this craziness, when you are up to bat, you're going to be at this home plate, not this one, this one. Okay. So whether you're righty or lefty, this is the base you're going to be at. Okay. Now to our very unique craziness scenario. There's a commit line and a scoring plate. So I want to explain this because this is our biggest source of confusion. And the reason we do this is because catchers, one, are usually the least skilled player on the field. Two, they have zero safety equipment on. Okay. We do not want anybody to go flying in at full speed to try to score at a catcher. Okay. So we're going to split it up. When you are fielding a ball, all you need to do is go touch the white base. When you are running, this base doesn't exist. You run to this one and this one only. Okay. If you run to this one, it's as if you didn't run, you did not hit the plate. If you are here, you could get tagged out. If you're standing on it, jumping up and down, and they take the ball and touch you with it, you're out. This is the plate you need to be at. Okay. So what is this commit line? So what we do with the commit line, and again, this is to try to avoid the safety issues. If the bases are loaded, this line is irrelevant. There's a force. It's a force play. The goal is whoever touches their base first on a bases loaded situation, whoever touches the base first, either scores or they're out. Okay. If the bases are not loaded and it's not a force, as a runner comes from third and is going home, is they're running, once they hit this line, they have now committed to going home. Okay. If before you get to this line, you can go back. Once you pass this line, you have to make the run for home. There's no going back at that point. Okay. Even if it's not a force, it becomes a force once you cross this line. Okay. Once you cross that line, it's a race to see who touches the base first. Okay. If you are fielding the ball, your only goal is to touch this base, not to touch the runner. If you're running, your only goal is to touch here and not the catcher. Okay. If you make contact with the catcher, you're going to be called out. Okay. So don't do it.
I have a quick question on this. Who handles disputes on the commit line?
During the regular season, I don't think we've had a dispute on really, so just play it by ear. If we have to make a change, we'll make a change, but just make the calls. Are there any other questions on that unique situation that we have? Okay. So there's no questions. So when we get to the field, everybody's an expert and everybody knows what this means. No one's going to run to home the white plate. Everyone's going to run to the orange plates. Excellent. Okay.
There's just one quick question, Keith.
Yeah.
The commit line, there's gonna be chalk there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It will actually be a white chalk line going right horizontal on the field, on the base path. Yeah.
Right. Great.
Yeah. And this foul line here will actually be angled like this. Okay. Which is actually maybe tweak that. So even though this foul line goes to here, the foul line is still this. Okay. So we put the white line here. That way the runner in their mind, they're following the line. So the white line will go to the right.
I can hear you.
Other questions? All right, moving on. Captain's info. If you are a captain, your responsibility to make sure you have enough players to play each week. If the player cannot make a game, you need to start calling people on the sub list as soon as you know. I did post the sub list up on the website today. It's up to you to make the lineup each week. At the end of every game, you must text me a picture of your lineup sheet with the score on it. This is for both the team that won and the team that lost. This is how we track player attendance and team for tournament eligibility. We look to you to make sure your team understands and follows the rules. We look to you to make sure your team understands that this is a fun league and that the games each week do not matter. Keep that in mind, for everybody, that the games each week really don't matter. Doesn't matter if you win, doesn't matter if you lose, it doesn't change seeding. So just go out and have fun. For the captains, on Sunday night, September 28th at 8 p.m., there will be a short Zoom meeting to determine the tournament seeding. If you're not able to attend, you need to send a delegate from your team. This is how we do seeding for the tournament. Basically, all the captains get together. They vote who they think is the strongest team, all the way from 1 to 8. That's how we build the seeding. We've tried every 15 different ways of doing this. This seems to be the most effective because it gives a little bit more of a perceived strength versus an artificial strength that got impacted by a sub on one day. So the end of season tournament, it is a 2-day tournament. It's on October 25th and 26th. Again, season records don't determine it. They are full 7 innings. They do have a time limit with score rollback, so keep that in mind. So make sure you got good pitching, because if not, it will roll back if you hit the limit. You need to have at least 8 rostered players to play. Okay. So if at any point and for any reason after the start of a tournament game, a team drops to below the 8 rostered players or the 2 rostered female minimum, in lieu of a complete forfeit, the team will only have 2 outs in each inning, and any remaining home runs will be considered used. We added this rule because a few years ago, one of our teams has a lot of public safety staff on it, and there was a fire call, and half the team had to leave. And they fell short of the required number of players, and we didn't know what to do. We can't reschedule it, we can't redo it, so this is the rule that we made going forward. So regardless of whatever the situation is, this is how we handle it. If you start the game and then if after you start it, you go underneath the minimums that are required. As mentioned, minimum of 4 weeks to be eligible to play. This tournament schedule will be released right after the captain's meeting. So it'll be the next day I'll release the tournament schedule. Quick thing on safety, each team. So on each dugout, there'll be a medical kit hanging off the fence in the backs and the dugout. It'll be there loaded up with ice packs. If you run out of, the only thing in it will be ice packs. If you run out of ice packs, come to the snack shack. We've got tons and tons of them in there to refill the bags. If you need something else for a medical situation, come to the snack shack. We've got fully loaded medical kit there, Band-Aids, gauze, everything you can think of. We've got all sorts of stuff in there. We also have an AED in our snack shack. So if we have an emergency, we've got that available to us as well. If you have any questions on safety, medical devices, kits, how to use anything, contact our safety officer, Jess Fellows. Jess is on the gold team, is with me. Jess, I think you're on the call, right? Yep. But she can help answer any questions to do with anything safety related. Very, very important. Stretch. 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 This is probably the most important thing you will hear from me all night. When you get to the field, stretch. You're not 18 anymore. Even though we all think we are, we all think we can still play the game that we did when we were kids. We're not. Stretch. Almost half of the emergency room trips we've had were because someone didn't stretch and something happened because of that. Okay. So please stretch before the games. It's so important.
Jay and I, we start 2 weeks before. So
Good. Excellent. All right. So I'm going to walk through the website and show you where the rules and stuff like that are on there. All right. Everybody see my screen still? See the website? Yes? Great. All right. So if you come to the TAYBS website, you're going to click on leagues, fall adult softball. Okay. Here's where you're going to see the general information. Before I get into the rules, you're going to see a link here for standings. This is all the scores, all that stuff. Stuff will be listed here at the end of every day, maybe Sunday morning, depending if everybody texted me their lineups and scores like they were supposed to. I'll probably do it either late Saturday or early Sunday morning. All the numbers will go in. Substitute list is here. Here's everybody who signed up to be a sub this year. Lots of people on the sub list. Okay. So if you are a captain, this is your target list to get people to come help. If you don't have any luck getting subs, a lot of people at the field that tend to want to play. So we have lots and lots of people in this league that just stay at the field all day and yep, I'll fill in any game you need. Happens all the time. So if you get in a jam, chances are if you're at the field, we'll be able to get you some players. Players meeting. Nice. So I will put up the PDF and the video for this year's one, the one that we're watching right now with all the slides that I put in, as well as the recording of this meeting. There are two things here, a lineups PDF. So this is, I print these out. I leave them on a clipboard on the dugout fence. Feel free to use them. If you don't want to use this, you don't have to. But I leave these there as best I can so that you can get it. You can download it here and do it in advance. If you don't want the PDF, you can download a spreadsheet version and do it however you want. But I put all that stuff out there for you. I'm going to skip the rules for a second. I'm going to show you one other thing. If you click up here on teams, you're going to see all of your teams listed here. When you go to your team, once you've told me your team name, I'll update it. Like these three have team names. The rest of you guys haven't given me your team names yet. So get on that. But when you come into your team, you'll see some general information. You can click on roster. You can see everybody who's on your team. You can come into games. You can see your entire schedule for the whole season. Availability. This is where you can come in and say, yep, I'm coming or I'm not coming. Team contacts. This is the email address and cell phone number of every person on your team. Okay. If you don't have a group text chat with everybody on your team, I suggest making one. It's a good thing to do. It's a good communication tool for everybody. That's your team website. Feel free to use it however you would like. Got it, Jeff. All right, so now I'm just going to go back to the official rules. So I'm going to skim through some of this and highlight some of the certain things, but please make sure you read these. And when you think you've read it, read it again. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to skip a lot of stuff. We talked about this. Talked about scheduling. We talked about the rules for sub players. Oh, good one. Metal cleats are not allowed. When you get your uniform this year, I'm going to ask you to show me your cleat. Make sure it's plastic. If it's metal, you can't use it. Last year, we had someone come in with metal cleats, and it hurt a lot. Don't bring metal cleats to the field. They're not allowed. So when you come in, I'm going to check your cleats, and we'll do random checks throughout the year. Make sure everyone's wearing plastic cleats. We're not 18. Please don't hurt us anymore. Excellent. Just as we mentioned before, no bringing your own bats. As CJ likes to say, I get all of my bats from shittybats.com. You'll all love them, I promise. We have one ball for everybody. It's a 12-inch softball. We don't have multiple balls. Officiating, we already talked about it. There's a 5-run limit per half inning. So after 5 runs, you switch halves. Foul balls are considered a strike, but they don't count against your 3 swings and your out rule. So you can't strike out on a foul ball, just like regular ball. declared last inning in any extra innings, unlimited use, unlimited runs for both teams. Your batting order is consistent. There is no bunting, or let me rephrase it, there's no deliberate bunting. So we have some people that have a hard time swinging the bat, and they kind of look like bunts. As long as you're not actively trying to bunt, you're fine. Foul tips. The batter is out if the catcher catches a foul tip that travels clearly above the batter's head. Not like here, like here. Okay? So as long as if the ball comes up somewhere in the air and then the catcher catches it, the batter's out. If they foul tip the ball, it goes straight back and the catcher catches it, it's not out. So our favorite one, a single team is limited to 4 over the fence home runs per game and is limited to a single over the fence home run per inning. Any over the fence home runs after the first one in the inning or after 4 in total will be considered an out. The goal is to put the ball in play, strategize. Early on, people thought this was a horrible thing. And then when they realized how to use that you can use strategies and do all sorts of cool stuff with this rule, it became a lot more fun. So figure out how to strategize using that rule. So if the home run inning is called an out, if it's called an out, it won't be counted against your home run limit. This is an important one. If the batter hits an out of the park home run, they do not need to run the bases if they choose not to. We call this the Frank rule. Guy hit a ball out of the park, turned to run to first base, went down, blew out both of his knees. Don't do that. So if you don't feel the need to run the bases after you do that, you don't need to do that. So during the last inning or any extra innings, if you have not yet used all of your home runs, you can use all of them in that last inning. So this is part of that strategize rule. So if you want to save them all up, save them all to the end of the game when it might actually matter more, go for it. If a ball lands in fair territory, bounce off the fence, ground rule double. There's no leading, no stealing. You have to stay on the bag. You can't leave a base until after the batter has made contact with the ball. You can slide, but you need to make every effort to avoid. Base runners need to stay in the base paths. We talked about that. Yeah. Make sure all the bats are picked up off the ground. The on-deck batter should get them. Sometimes we see bats left all over the ground. People get hurt on those, so pick them up. You're going to play with 10 fielders on defense, which is 4 outfielders. You need to have 2 females in the field at all times. If you don't have 2 females in the field, then you can only play with 9 defensive players, and when you bat, you only have 2 outs in that same inning. So you want to make sure you have 2 females in the field at all times. We don't allow short fielders. A short fielder is an outfielder playing shallow in front of another outfielder. Okay? So the infield fly rule is in effect. This is very rare to be called during the regular season. However, during the tournament, the umpire will call the infield fly rule. So make sure you understand it. And just because people didn't call it during the regular season doesn't mean it doesn't get called during the tournament. Talked about that. Yep. We've pretty much talked about everything else, so I'm not going to bore you reading through any more of these. I do ask.
Hey, Keith?
Yep.
Yeah, is there a minimum distance? Not that I'm going to play outfield, but is there a minimum distance that the outfielders have to be off the back of the infield, regardless of the short field?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's 10 feet.
I think that's.
Yeah, I knew there was something. So they just can't butt right up, like right behind
Yeah.
the shortstop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Outfielders
I
must
just wanted
remain
to
at least
double
10
check.
feet into the outfield grass until after contact.
I would have known that if I, you know, I got to read those rules again, apparently.
That's why we have these calls. Uh, other questions on anything in the rules? All right. Is there anything else I can help answer questions for? That sounds great. All right. So nobody has any real questions. So I will be at the field all day long on Saturday and most Saturdays all day. If you have questions, feel free to come up to me, ask me questions. When you get there on Saturday, go to the snack shack. I'll be there with a table. You'll have to check in and get your uniform. Your uniform is literally just a shirt. So make sure you come there. You are going to get the size shirt that you signed up for. So if you picked the wrong shirt, sorry, but whatever you put in your registration form, that's what I ordered for you. So that's what you'll end up getting. So once you get your shirts, if you guys want to horse trade them around, go for it. But you'll at least get what you ordered. But other than that, I don't have a lot. I'm excited for Saturday. I hope you guys are as well. It's a lot of fun. You're gonna have a great time. And like I said, anybody has any questions, call me, text me, come grab me in the field. Happy to answer anything. And let's go have a great season.
Thanks, Keith.
All right.
Yep. Thanks, Keith.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Rest of your week.
Thanks
All right.
a
We'll
lot.
see you.
Saturday.
Saturday.
Bye.
See you, Jay.